phone call at 2:14 a.m. Janice, the night manager of the high-rise building on Laurel Street, rubbed the sleep from her eyes as she answered. The tenant on the 9th floor sounded shaken. "There's a man," he whispered, "hanging outside my window." Janice grabbed her flashlight and radio, thinking it must be a prank. The building had 13 floors, and the 9th was far from the top. But when she got to apartment 906, the tenant was pale and trembling, his eyes fixed on the window. She looked out, expecting a blank night sky, or maybe a bird. Instead, her stomach dropped. There, outside the glass, a man in a tattered black suit hung limply by a rope tied around his neck, gently swaying in the wind. His eyes were open, glazed and milky. They seemed to stare right through her. Janice gasped and stumbled backward, but when she blinked, he was gone. The window was clear, no rope, no body, nothing. Security scoured the building. No signs of forced entry, no rope, no broken windows. But that night marked the first of many. Over the next few weeks, more residents began reporting sightings of the man hanging outside their windows. It didn't matter the floor. Apartment 203, then 408, even the penthouse on the 13th. Tenants saw the same thing. A man in black, suspended in midair, his neck snapped, his head tilted, and his eyes unblinking. The building became a local mystery. Some called it a mass hallucination. Others whispered about a ghost. Tenants moved out in waves. Janice tried to dismiss the stories until she saw him outside the manager's office window. She screamed and dropped her coffee. The man hung motionless. This time, she saw the bruising on his neck, the dirt under his fingernails, and the torn edges of the noose. And then, again, he vanished. Determined to uncover the truth, Janice dug into the building's history. Laurel High Rise had been built in the 1980s, but before that, the lot was home to an asylum, Laurel Heights Institution for the Criminally Insane. The asylum had burned down in 1956. The fire was ruled accidental, but dozens of patients and staff had died. One of them was a man named Dr. Henry Morrow, a disgraced psychiatrist accused of abusing his patients. According to old reports, Dr. Morrow had hung himself from his office window on the 3rd floor during the blaze, refusing to leave. His body had been found days later, swinging, half-burned, still tethered by his bone belt. Janice felt a chill reading the article. The photograph was grainy, but the suit, black, tattered, and singed, was unmistakable. She was sure it was the same figure appearing in the windows today. She reached out to a local historian who confirmed the high-rise had been built directly atop the asylum ruins. In fact, Morrow's old office would have aligned vertically with where the sightings kept occurring. That night, Janice stayed late in the building. She wanted proof. She set up cameras facing every window on the east side, motion sensors, infrared, audio recorders. She was ready. At exactly 2:14 a.m., alarms triggered. Every east-facing camera went fuzzy. A screeching feedback echoed through the audio, and in the grainy footage, frame by frame, the man appeared, hanging outside each window in succession. He moved without moving. One moment at the 3rd floor, the next at the 5th, then 7th, higher and higher, like something dragging his ghost upward through time and floors. Janice's heart raced. She checked the live feeds. At that moment, he was outside the break room on floor 12. And then, he was outside her own window, not on camera, in real time. He was closer than ever. His eyes met hers, lifeless and angry. He lifted one hand and pointed directly at her. Then, without warning, the glass cracked in a perfect circle around his face. She screamed and ran. The crack didn't spread. It just sat there, like a portal waiting to be opened. The next day, the window was perfectly intact. No damage. No record of the footage she saw. The building's owners dismissed her concerns, called it stress. They replaced her with a younger manager and gave her a payout. She left, but not before warning the new guy, Ryan, to stay away from the windows. Ryan didn't listen. Within 2 weeks, he had his own sighting. The man hanging, the suit, the noose, always at 2:14 a.m. Ryan set up cameras too, but the footage kept deleting itself. Soon, it wasn't just windows. The figure began appearing in reflections, television screens, polished floors, microwave doors. He was expanding. Residents reported seeing him in dreams, standing at their bedside. And then, people started dying. The first was Mr. Chan from floor 5. Security footage showed him walking calmly to his window at 2:14 a.m. and jumping. No suicide note, no motive, just a blank look on his face. Next was a teenage girl who claimed the hanging man told her she could be free like him. She was found with a noose made from her bed sheets, her bedroom window wide open. Ryan tried to leave. He packed his bags and booked a flight. But the night before he was set to leave, neighbors heard him screaming. He was found curled in the corner of his living room, muttering, "He's inside now." Ryan survived, but he was never the same. He was committed to a psychiatric facility, ironically the rebuilt Laurel Heights Behavioral Center, just blocks away from the old asylum's ruins. The media finally caught wind of the story. Paranormal investigators swarmed the building. One YouTube ghost hunting group went viral after live streaming at 2:14 a.m. Their viewers watched in real time as the figure appeared and the stream cut to black. They were never seen again. Desperate, the city condemned the building. But every time they tried to demolish it, something went wrong. Explosives failed, workers went missing, equipment malfunctioned. It was as if the structure refused to fall. Janice returned once, years later, during a storm. The high-rise stood empty, rotting, windows broken, plants overgrowing the entrance. But as lightning struck the sky, she looked up. still hanging, still watching, swinging slowly in the wind outside the 9th floor window. She tried to walk away, but heard the faintest whisper, "Come back, it's your turn now." Her heart pounded, her legs froze, and for a moment, she wanted to go back inside. She snapped out of it and ran, not stopping until she was blocks away. But she never forgot his eyes, or how he had pointed at her, as if marking her. Years passed. The building was eventually sealed with iron panels. The city erased it from maps, but rumors still spread. Teens dared each other to peek through the cracks at night. Some said if you looked into a certain window at exactly 2:14 a.m., you wouldn't see the hanging man. You'd see yourself hanging, lifeless, eyes open and smiling. They say he chooses one person a year, draws them in with visions, whispers, nightmares, until they either die or become part of the haunting themselves. Janice never slept through the night again. Each year, on the same date, she saw that crack form on her bedroom mirror, a perfect circle, and she knew he was still waiting. The man hanging in the window wasn't just a ghost. He was a stain, a scar left on the world, feeding on fear, on attention. And now, you've heard his story. So the next time you're near an old building and you think you see something in the corner of your eye, don't look too long, because if he sees you, he might think it's your turn next.